point, sir. But pass a lot more freedom to your house. Wonderful. She run, run, run.
Welcome to Tuesday night, everybody. I think you get the feeling of what's actually happening amongst us all. We feel a lot like that age, with that sentiment. It takes you back. We're going to get to all the reasons why it does. Thank God it's Tuesday night. I'm Ken Meringolo. He's Tim Strachan.
That's a great thing to see of a kid that young. I believe that was a Garita, if I'm not mistaken. Peeper's kid.
Yeah, James.
So
with permission and consent from family.
Because we haven't been there a long time. It's like I'm not quite sure what to do with my hands because I'm not sure what the hell's going on. I'm actually I thought it deserved a true celebration. So cheers. I'm actually having a little drinky poo on it. It's a little streak here, dude. Let's go.
He's Kevin Ricca.
A little drinky poo streak never hurt nobody. Here we go, and it is. I mean, Green Day's been woken up. It was a September to remember. And I'm telling you right now, the future is so bright. It is. The whole area is pumped. We can feel it from inside out, inside the lounge, in the basement, all in the streets. It's a different feeling in town, and it's nothing better than Victory Tuesday, baby.
I'm doing Dan Quinn, bro. I'm going rolling
I love
around.
the backwards hat.
I love that. I love it.
I may. Even though I'm not supposed to lose my hair in my treatment, I guess there's like a small percentage. But even if I don't, I might have to just shave it. I might have to pull the full Dan.
I like it. I think
I have to pull the full DQ.
You're gonna have to get that.
Like
that
maybe
goat back.
like what would be like a reasonable, like 7 games in a row. Like I don't know.
You're shaving your head at 7 games in a row.
How about? I mean, if he wins in Baltimore,
yeah. How about
that's a
Baltimore?
5-game win streak. Because we're taking that down this week. We'll talk.
That's not quite.
All right, so
there is a number.
Don't get us started on this topic.
There is a number.
We are 3-1. We lead the NFC East outright.
Donate them to Locks.
The Washington Commanders are firmly, after roughly 1 quarter of the season, in command of their playoff destiny. The stat sent to me by none other than Robert Cohen. I'm sorry I couldn't get it up on the screen in time. 75% chance, I believe, teams that have historically been 3-1 have made the playoffs. That really means very little. But what the whole notion and idea of where are we? Well, we'll talk about the surreal nature of watching that game. It was a different feeling. It completely new, except we remember it. It reminded me when I was a kid of watching games. We knew we were going to win. While you're watching it, you could see who the better team was, and it was our team. And it happened every single week. It was no drama. It was all fun, no stress, all greatness. And that was a feeling of the game. I'm not trying to compare all-time great Super Bowl winning teams to these guys yet, but that was the feeling of watching this game. It was the most different thing ever. It was over 20 years since the last time anyone in this area has felt it, and I know what it is. I know what it was. It was the feeling of we're a good team. We're better than them, and this game is not in question at all.
It was the same formula from the Joe Gibbs era.
Yeah. Run
the ball up their ass, 37 carries, 216 yards, and 4 touchdowns. How fun was that to watch? And then shove it up their ass on the other side of the ball. Stop the run and run. Then with the third down scenarios on offense and defense, it was just like watching an old school game. I'm not making comparisons either. But the domination on third down offensively and third and, light. We were always in third and manageable. Yeah. And when you have Jaden Daniels, third down's always manageable.
And you always have 4 downs with that guy.
I mean, it's a joke.
It is.
It's such a different way of watching ball. Tressway had 13 more punts at this point last year. 17-4 in the punt department.
For how long have we been watching the football team play, and you just didn't have a good feeling when it was third and whatever?
You didn't have a good feeling. You were horrified. You're like,
why do we didn't have hope. You didn't have hope. Now you're not only is there hope, there's we can do this. This is doable. We got
he was almost untouched back there.
He didn't take any even when he ran, he didn't take any major big hits. He was doing the sliding instead of the front dive.
Just 4
That's
games.
huge.
is
Oh my
wow.
God.
Feet first baseball slide over the head first slide.
I hate the slide conversation. He did 9,000 other things that we should talk about first.
The feeling, but
He was the best he's ever
That I
been.
agree with.
He
The
hit a
offense-
whole different level, bro.
continuing to score on every possession when we opened the game. Obviously, didn't last the entire game, but going, I think it was 16 straight possessions with a touchdown, which hasn't been done in the NFL in 30 years. That's something. The completion percentage through 4 games,
It's historic.
the best ever. So listen, we know what 17 games means. We've had that drilled into our skulls over the last 20 years. It was 16, now 17 games. We understand what you need to put a season together, because we know we haven't had it. We think we have it now. So we'll get lots of real good opportunities in the next few weeks to see if what we think is true. But just talking about the performance of what I really wanted to start with was the offensive line, because the offensive line has been
Is that your best thing?
sure best thing I saw. Best thing I saw was the offensive line. I thought
Should be. That should be number one.
we've been harping on it. They're the butt of everything. It's they haven't been good. We haven't been led by them. They played their butts off. They blocked. They opened huge holes. They did. I mean, they did everything. The pool. When you
weren't
go
a
watch the
problem.
plays, when you watch every single one of them pull at some point in time, and they were all running every which way. It was awesome.
Look, we've been crushing them, or at least I know I have. It's the biggest question mark on our team, except they weren't at all, not even close.
We've been crushing them and our defensive backs a little bit. But we're sticking with the offensive line right now. But just to bring this cohesion together, listening to Dan Quinn talk about leaving for 8 days. He said that was sacrifice for our guys. We were on the road 8 days, Cincinnati to Arizona, back home. 8-day trip. We ate every meal together. We practiced together. We
Y'all
lived
said it
together.
last week.
We learned a lot about each other, and it translated from that bond off the field. When your owner spends a shit ton of money to send you out to
that's so
Arizona,
good.
That's the main piece.
and then you get 2 road wins, and your team comes together in a fashion that we never anticipated these 2 games to go, and us to get to this point specifically at the point person. But this offensive line's cohesion, shoving the ball directly down their throats with just imposing our will upon the other team at the offensive line position,
Getting to the second
was
level.
so fucking incredible to watch. Because you see Jaden back there and play pass. T, you were a big drop back, you were a big play pass quarterback back in the day. I read a bunch of shit today saying Jaden Daniels has never ever turned his back to the defense, then had to come around. In college, he didn't run any play pass. He was in shotgun 1,000% of the time, and he is not a guy. And right now, his play pass percentage is bonkers through the roof.
And you know what he's doing?
Naturally gifted at it.
And you know what he's doing? He's going, why didn't I get to do this
Exactly.
before? Because this is awesome. It's the best. It's the way football was designed.
Well, you don't want to do it with Nick Gates in front of you or some of these other
but yeah,
guys.
when you
that have
run for
been
200
there.
yards,
Yeah.
37 times and 4 touchdowns, play pass looks sweet. And I don't think he got touched all day. Our offensive line put on a clinic because our offensive coordinator put on a clinic because our head coach is the right guy because Adam Peters put out these guys in the right position.
Yep.
And God bless our owner. Wow, a lot of things have happened after 20 years of 25, whatever long purgatory was. It looks like
Where's your
heaven,
boner meter
Heaven.
right now?
Oh God.
What was the
A
best
cat
thing you saw?
couldn't scratch
What was
it.
the number one best thing you saw? Let's take the Jaden off. We've been saying that every week. We'll get to Jaden. We'll talk about Jaden.
I told everyone, so I bartended a huge event. There was 1 million people. There was a Knights of Columbus Crab Feast. Die-hard fans in the building. Just die-hard people tickled. The crabs are great. The game was better. I told everyone, watch number 4 play defense. A lot of the older fans don't know all the guys.
Got a scoop.
Watch
Wait, is this
number
your best
4
thing?
play.
didn't
The
get the
best thing
score.
I saw and watching breakdowns today, he
Frankie
comes hot
Luvu.
down the line. He splits and knocks down both tight ends trying to double team him and makes a play for a 1-yard tackle. Gets up and flexes on someone and watching him post game after what he puts on the field and how everyone responds to his passion. And he knocks the ever-living shit out of you when he hits you. It's the greatest. It's old school
You
as
bring
hell.
a
I
lot
love
of
it.
sultriness with that, dude.
I was so fired up. How can we not be, man?
See it.
J Dubs, Robert Cohen, EO, Rhett, Manner of Speaking, AGH, Greg Martin, Ken Harris, obviously, NES Tecmo, Keegan Tier on the board. Love to see you guys this evening celebrating yet another Victory Tuesday. T, what was the best thing you saw on Sunday?
My turn?
Yeah, it's your turn.
We finally targeted and made McLaurin the featured guy. He came through and just to expand it a little bit, again, another group that we were freaking crushing just 4 weeks ago. 3 weeks ago, the wide receiver group. I mean, again, I don't think there's enough emphasis on the fact that they did spend the eight days together. That's sacrifice. That means something. Like I saw someone on Reels the other day where a person said to be really great at something that you have to in 3 things, whether it's like work, social, and like something's got to give, right? And if for a whole week those guys give up their family lives, their comfort zones, but have to do it together, like that definitely means something.
To do some hard shit.
It started
like he
to
always
show,
says.
and
Fear
in
and loathing.
particular,
A lot of
started
fear and
to
loathing.
show in particular between Jaden Daniels and McLaurin.
I like it, Manner
That's the best
speaking.
thing I saw.
He said the best thing was his running game. Tom Meringolo on the board. Good to see you, sir. Austin Siebert getting some votes for continuing his young career here.
How about
Stud,
Siebert?
dude.
Yeah, I mean,
Step it
the
up.
Hell?
he's
Kick
making
it.
again. It's that
Like,
feeling,
I feel like we're always gonna make it now.
and we did not feel that way just weeks
No.
ago, and we did not feel that way since Norv Turner. Norv Turner ruined all of us for kickers. I mean, we would have probably been in the NFC Championship game with a kicker a couple of those years, and ever since it's been a parade of guys who can't do it here, and then they've gone on and done it somewhere else, and then they all of a sudden magically come back here and do it against us with somebody else. But that's the story, and it's played out over and over again. So yeah, that's good.
We kind of hit rock bottom on kickers.
I mean, we
Maybe-
are.
maybe
So
we
it was
had
time.
to.
It was time for there to be for the universe to kind of just
At
correct
some point,
itself,
you have to
like-
get it has to regress back
Do
to the mean.
we give McManus some handsy business back?
I
Thank
mean,
you, Mr.
I mean,
McManus.
it doesn't deserve a clap, maybe,
Oh, yeah, that's
but,
true.
I mean, it's kind of
That's-
like, dude,
yeah,
thanks
you-
for being such a shitbag.
It's just, I'm saying, you piece of shit.
we now get
Yeah,
like
we
something
applaud.
good
Yeah, exactly.
in life. Like it's
That
it's
that was my angle.
yin and yang.
Yeah.
I
When-
want to applaud the guy.
No, I'm applauding his piece of crapness.
NES is asking if we're going to live stream the Thursday night game. Which game is that coming up? The Thursday night game. What's the next Thursday night game? We have one. I know. I can't remember who it's
I
against.
just looked at it last night. Here we go. It is the 14th at the Eagles.
October or November?
November.
Okay.
November.
I would like to. I'll tell you that right now.
Live from the KOC.
I'll do it live. Yeah, for sure.
It is my Thursday night. So
Yeah.
I'm kind of tied in.
All right, so I don't think I'm trying to. Let's be cavalier here. Like on the worst thing you saw.
I have a question. Okay. All right.
Worst
That's
thing
fine.
you saw.
That's
We
better
have to
than
do
Cavalier. I think that's
it
better than Cavalier.
because obviously there wasn't a lot of it. I was trying really hard to nitpick or it's about the worst thing I saw. But I mean honestly, like I don't know. Like the worst thing I saw. The worst thing I saw was, the 4th and inches go against us in the beginning of a game when I thought like, okay, I've seen this movie before. 4th and inches from the goal line, Marvin Harrison and Kyler Murray get after it, and I don't know, that moment was probably the worst thing I saw. We all know how it turned out, but anyone else have any? And if you don't have anything, you don't have to say anything.
No,
There wasn't a lot there,
No,
but-
because I was thrilled about the interception. Get it off your plate up
I was
in
going
the
to say
second
it's
quarter.
the worst thing
Get
I
it off
saw
your- get
because
it off.
it was his first one, but at the same time, it's like,
I was
dude,
like,
now you don't
yeah.
have to worry about it anymore.
Up in the second quarter.
You're
get
gonna
that, yeah,
fucking throw
yeah.
interceptions. Like it happens. You don't want to throw a lot, but it's gonna happen.
All right. Jimmy Borda told me we had the worst defense in the history of the NFL, and he went on and on and on pregame. So the worst thing I saw
From last year.
Yeah, he just said no. He said this year's defense is the worst in the NFL, and he was adamant. And this is what the packed house. It was just getting ready to start, and I'm a little under the gun, and I did my full defense of let time. It's just September. Let time happen. Bobby Wagner doesn't play on the worst defense in the NFL. Frankie Louvu does not play on that defense either. And if you don't know these guys' names, then why are you tormenting me? And he does know his sports, but watching them go down the field and score on that first drive was like, shit. So the worst thing I saw because of how it made me feel because of the situation I was in was them storming down the field and old Marvin Harrison Jr. catching one. And you start, not with this team, I wasn't thinking, oh, here we go again. I was thinking, oh boy, this is going to be an 80-point Sunday.
Yep.
It's going to be 42-38 good guys. I thought we were in for a dogfight. Well, we held up our end of the bargain offensively, but someone was left a little short.
I thought that. I didn't want to be left a little short. Obviously, it happens sometimes. But I think the thing about the defense is, and I'll give you a second or two unless you have something ready to go. What I was going to say about the defense is, if like our defense was, it's all brand new guys. I mean, basically, and all brand new coaches. So new scheme, and 2 preseason games and a whole camp. And I get it. Like they weren't good out of the gate, but we know we believe in these coaches. They've had success in the league. We know these players are good. Like if they buy in and play well, blah blah blah. The cool thing about what's happening with our team is when you have 16 straight scoring possessions, you can really narrow in some of your play calls on defense because you know what the other team is thinking they have to do to keep pace with the team that scores every freaking time they have the ball. That's very helpful. Run defense has to tighten up somehow, some way. And man, in 2 weeks playing against Pat Ricard and Derrick Henry, I don't envy.
It gets tougher.
And
the
Lamar.
days.
And
So
Lamar.
listen,
And
it
Lamar.
gets tougher. It definitely gets. I do think. I don't think that this is the worst defense in the NFL, but we may have just played 2 of the worst defenses of the NFL. So the worst thing I saw, like I don't know, winning by that much, only if it mean. Oh yeah.
There's a barking
Dude, you got some
spider over there.
barking- yeah.
You got barking
Jesus.
spiders. They're in season.
That was a loud one.
They make
threw
this time of
threw
year.
me off track,
You know,
but
call.
my point was we have to remember we are still the same team that we saw at the Bucks. So, don't let it. I mean, we should get
Don't let it
this
burn.
week. We should get this week. We should get next week. I mean,
There's a lot of weeks worth getting. We'll talk about that.
but
in
we
a
Yeah,
can't
minute.
I-
let
looking
it,
at
we
this
can't
schedule,
let
it's
this
fun.
this success though spoil something where we're back almost to week 1 just for an appearance. Like, you know what I mean?
Nah, I'm
Like,
not.
you need
I
to
do.
sustain it. You need to keep the hunger. You need to keep
3 wins in a row is
foot on
a
the
mini
gas.
sustain, but they need more gas. Keep the gas
or
down.
just keep the foot on the gas.
Can we talk
Keep-
about the schedule?
keep
Or should,
going.
let's wait.
Let's
on the
wait. Just
schedule?
wait for a
Good,
second because
good,
we're talking about keeping the gas.
good.
We're talking about
I like when the gas is lit.
we're
So
not.
don't light a fire right now.
Let's not get too. This is fun as shit.
The
but
good
let's-
news
let's-
about
Oh,
being
wow,
able
let's
to
celebrate.
sustain
Let's
is the
celebrate
fact
like
that we
some
don't have
mama.
we don't have a lot of injuries
I don't wanna
yet.
be like,
we don't have a
we
lot
were
of
week
a lot of
1 and-
we've played some
Yeah.
teams that are
How
beatable.
dare you?
Well, I'm saying like when you talk about how you can take 3 wins in a row and start moving it into the season, to 4 and 5 and 6. We haven't been bitten by that bug. Every single team in the league gets bit by it. So, what we will also get a chance to see with this Dan Quinn led, Adam Peters selected group is how they handle adversity because it'll come at some point in time, and that'll be it'll be fun for us to see how they handle that as well. But right now with 3 wins in a row and with the success that they've had. Everybody. It's funny. Like no one's wanted a piece of us from the media perspective for a long time, and rightfully so. It's been all ours. All the media, media pieces. They've been like, you know what, guys, you can just have them in the basement. Now you can't turn on a TV channel that even remotely talks about sports without people wanting a piece of talking about Washington, and that's great. And we all love it, and it's awesome. And there's a reason for that, obviously. But it is. It's like this isn't like that phony bullshit stuff like when Spurrier was doing his thing or Schottenheimer or any. I mean, this is people are like, well, wait a second. I mean, Dan Quinn's a legitimate NFL head coach. Cliff Kingsbury
He's
is
real man in
one of the
charge.
best play callers, in offense, right in offensive, philosophy right now. And you start looking at the roster and like, well,
He's
wait a
on
second.
a roll, bro.
Bobby Wagner was the leading tackle of the league last year. You look at Frank Louvu, and Bobby Wagner only came here so he could play with Frankie Louvu. You look at Jeremy Chin making plays. Quan
And
Martin's
those
making
3 were
plays.
the leading tacklers.
Yes.
And they're all badass sons of bitches.
Yes. So the fact that the mating call of the barking spider, the fact that we're able to be this effective on offense this early in the season, as great as it is, it really. I mean, the league's in trouble. Like if we stay healthy, like Cliff Kingsbury, the cool thing you've watched it at week 1, 2, and 3. He was playing with a hand behind his back for a couple weeks, letting Jaden get there. Jaden's there. Like he's calling plays. He's building play upon play upon play, and he's not done evoluting this whole thing. I mean, this thing's going to be to the whole.
We're evoluting? He's evoluting?
Yeah.
If Cliff Kingsbury's evoluting, that's good news.
I mean,
That's good news. I'm just going to say this. We're not getting into the schedule, but if you keep talking about it, I'm chomping at the bit just to say
Is this
this.
it?
I have to.
is this?
Yeah,
our-
our
our-
Look at the
We're talking
schedule.
schedule.
I'm not trying to be. I'm
Roundup?
not
Is
trying.
this
No, we're not.
random?
We're not talking schedule. It's just 3 facts, and I want to hear you guys' opinion. If we're gonna do this, I just started looking at the schedule, and you get a little excited. Sorry, we have 13 games left. Correct.
Correct.
Only one team has a winning record as of today. Just work with me here. Also, no team in the NFC in contest to be in the playoffs has more home games left than we do. 8. We have 8 home games out of our 13.
Yep.
8 of our 13 left. And no one else has that.
But road trips, we do so good at road trips.
And I know, and I'm just telling you this.
We're so good.
The 11 quarterbacks we play in those 13 games, guys, they've got an 8-22 playoff record, and no one scares the shit out of me the way that, I don't know, Pat Mahomes, Aaron Rodgers, Josh Allen, Matt Stafford, Joe Flacco. Those guys are 55-34 with 6 Super Bowls. These guys are 8-22. And they got to deal with Jaden Daniels.
Yeah.
That's their issue. And we're just talking about the possibilities of riding this thing and having a record that we possibly thought we'd have. 13 games, 1 team with a winning record, 8 at home, and a couple quarterbacks that don't really get that thing around.
When you did this last year and you did the list of quarterbacks we had left, it was like Hall of Famer, All Pro, second team. I mean, it was.
And that's who we're not playing this year.
And we're not playing any of them.
None of them.
Here you go. Here's
Lamar
for you guys.
Lamar's a dog, and then we got Hurts and Dak. Those are the top 3. Kirk Cousins, Derek Carr, Levis, Jones again, Dalton. Deshaun Watson. I mean, like, I'm sorry, Caleb's a rookie. Like Justin Fields. Is anyone here going into the game scared shitless of the other team's quarterback?
It's Halloween month,
and they all should be. They all should be worried. All right,
we're
Lamar,
the scary monster that's on.
Well,
the
Baltimore's pretty damn scary too.
Here's a comment on the board for y'all.
Yeah.
What I see to some extent is that we have coaches making adjustments on the fly, not waiting for halftime or even first quarter. Real-time adjustment. It's been a long time, fellas. That's from Tom. He called me up, and he was like, "Hey, I think they were actually like. I thought they were. He was like, I think they were actually changing things like as they went. They were like, we can't do that, or we're gonna. So I mean, like, imagine that. Coaches not standing there like this for like.
Oh God!
I've decided what we will do. And let me know when it's over.
In fact, our head coach is calling Cliff Kingsbury, who was there last year, won this year, his main MFer, and giving him the game ball.
Bro, did you just? I don't know if it was just something I noticed more, but they showed him a lot looking at his play sheet, and he was either deviously kind of like, or just like walking and being like, "Dude, I'm the fucking man right now."
Yeah. He's like,
the way this shit is.
I've got a little something for you, Buddha Baker. Good luck guarding this double flood.
I mean, dude,
he's awesome, by the way.
He is, but in past coverage, he was getting sliced and diced.
He is totally reborn.
I know.
In this role.
I know. We need to keep him here for a little bit.
It's weird.
We got to keep him here for a little bit. I don't know what happens.
So
with all these
he,
guys.
so
With
he
success.
wanted it. So he, we talked about
like
this.
It better. Like, why do I need to do that again?
Agreed.
This is so fucking fun.
Left the day after he gets fired. First of all, he was one of the first ever, if not the first ever, to be fired from his college job and hired immediately in the NFL. That was weird. He got fired from Texas Tech, and then he was hired as the head coach. He said, "I'm only doing this with Kyler Murray, even though they had just drafted Josh Rosen, bring in Kyler Murray, and that everything kind of fell apart because Arizona's cursed, like just like all the handful of bad teams in the league are." He gets fired, one-way ticket with his amazing, very respectable girlfriend to Thailand on a one-way trip.
Fuck it, right?
Yeah.
Is that how you pronounce it? Phuket?
Yeah. Phuket.
That got weird.
Phuket.
So he stays in Thailand. Lincoln Riley says, "Open invitation. Anytime you want to join my staff, give me a call." At some point in time, after he had Bangkoked everything he needed to Bangkok.
He didn't get lost in Bangkok, thank
He
God,
did not.
Oh, he's most certainly did.
I'm pretty sure he was
would have been
lost.
lost forever too.
Well, then
No
he
one
played a
gets
little.
out.
He played a little hide and seek in Bangkok.
Yes.
He calls Lincoln Riley. He says, "I'm coming, but I don't want to do any
tested the
recruiting.
waters.
I don't want to do any of the bullshit." And Lincoln Riley was like, "No worries.
Oh
you
yeah,
don't-
income free.
You just get to hang out, develop our quarterbacks, and help us, create an offense
Out here in Cali.
out in
So you
Southern
can
Cal."
relax from your horrible trip
Yes.
to
So-
Thailand.
Oakland Raiders, or I'm sorry, the Las Vegas Raiders. They had him hired. They were in an agreement for a deal this offseason. The deal was done. Antonio Pierce got his guy.
No, it wasn't done.
Well, it was done except for the fact that
It wasn't
Oakland
done.
or the Raiders only wanted to give him 2
2.
years, and he wanted 3.
3.
Dan Quinn
Thank
was
God.
hired in that little window. Dan Quinn was like, "We got to get this guy," and Adam Peters was like, "Just here's a check. We all know what the market rate is for an offensive coordinator. How many years you want? There you go." And he comes in. He is. I think he ultimately will probably end up as a head coach again because he's so young. But I also think he wanted to come back into the NFL into a situation that was perfect for him and where he knew
And it
exactly
is.
what was and he has it.
And mold from start a young quarterback into his likeness in this offense that he is. That's the perfect perfect human being for this offense for him to run. I mean, it is so
It
remarkable.
would suck if he's gone. Like
I
next
know,
year.
but you know damn well, old Dan Quinn's got someone paying attention.
I don't think for a
Poking through the
second he's
window
leaving.
like he said, "Oh shit."
I don't think for a second he's
See?
leaving.
Even the spirits are getting
He's staying.
mean-
This is what he wants to do. I mean, he will eventually get back into head coaching, I do believe. But I will bet. I hope there's a market where you can bet. I don't think there's any chance he leaves this team after this year. Because why would he? He's getting the money that he wants. He's doing it his way. The cool thing about the whole situation that I think
Like,
of
if
is
he's
Adam
named
Peters.
assistant
Hold on.
of
The
the
cool thing
year?
about the situation is that Adam Peters had no idea about the quarterbacks. The San Francisco 49ers weren't paying attention to any of the quarterbacks because why would they? That's not what they were in the business of. I know damn well that Cliff Kingsbury knew all about Jaden Daniels. You know, being in at the college level, understanding very well the Heisman process. So there's something about these two being together. I mean, Dan Quinn's not an offensive head coach. This is Cliff Kingsbury's offense. Jaden Daniels is his guy. Everything that's about to happen for this franchise is because of those two. At some point in time, it will make sense for him to, come out of the cocoon and do the whole thing again. But being a head coach in the NFL is kind of a shit-ass job, ultimately. I mean, you're hired to be fired, and you might be fired fast. Offensive coordinator, you get paid a shit ton of money, and unless things go seriously south, you're pretty. It's kind of gravy.
And when you have Jaden Daniels, you don't need to go. You don't want to leave. You want to enjoy the success and then reap the benefits later. And
Speaking of Jaden Daniels, something about his DOB.
oh man, just
Oh, is this round 2 of Raymond's roundup?
Raymond's Roundup.
listen. I just
Brought to you by the
I just-
Autism Awareness Society.
And Roundup, the
Great.
pesticide.
Now we got to talk. Now we got to call the Anxiety Awareness Society
Raymond's
before I say my next
Roundup.
words. I'm just saying. I was just wondering where I was when our sweet baby quarterback, the football savior, sweet baby Jaden Daniels was
Tiny little
born.
fists.
Where was I when he
Sweet
was
baby
born?
Jaden.
Sweet baby Jaden
Sweet
was
baby
born
Jaden.
1 week before sweet baby Jesus on December 18th. Jaden Daniels, 2000, December 18th, 2000. So I started thinking to myself, like, the impact that had on all of us as of, the last month. But, like, what happened that day? So I
Did you
checked
like
to
your-
see what happened that day.
Neil Kavanaugh style calendar
Guys,
collection.
Guys, listen, I don't know what time
What
he was
year?
born. 2000, December 18th.
Mm-hmm.
It was a Monday. And I don't know about you guys. I don't know what time he was born, but I'd be more than willing to bet he was born during prime time because he was born for this. And that night on primetime, on Monday Night Football, was Mike Martz versus Tony Dungy. The greatest show on turf versus the Tampa 2.
Wow.
10 touchdowns were scored on Monday
Peyton?
Night Football. 10 touchdowns were scored the day sweet baby Jaden Daniels, the savior of our
baby
football franchise,
Jaden.
was born.
This little tuxedo T-shirt. And,
Kurt Warner
and
had 2
little diaper.
touchdowns. Marshall Falk had 4. Torrey Holt had a 72-yarder. Sean King threw for 2. Mike Allstott had 3
Sean
carries
King-
for 2 yards. Warwick Dunn
Stud.
had 3 TDs. Keyshawn Johnson had 2 TDs. Ricky Prohl and Bruce didn't do too much, but Martin Gramatica had the only field goal. Final score 38-35. Tampa Bay won, but the fact of the matter is during prime time, I bet he was born during prime time. There was 10 touchdowns that day. He's just kind of got a football thing to him. There's a connection to sweet baby Jaden Daniels, the quarterback and savior of our franchise.
Did they also play in the
Amen.
playoffs? I believe didn't they play to like a
Not that
9-6
year. They
or
both
6-3
lost,
or
They
something?
both lost in a shitty ass game, like by a 10-7 score
Yeah, it
in
was
the
some,
wild
like,
card.
no,
But
yeah.
they were the 2 best teams when they played. They were like both 10-6, 10-5. It was late in the year,
Man,
and
football was fun then.
I just that really made me happy to look at all these names. I mean, how great was that night? We all definitely watched that game. I have no recollection of it, but I do now know.
I kind of remember that.
I was in Bethesda.
Well, the savior was born that day.
That's the area. Yeah, sweet baby Jaden.
And that was
with his little tiny
Raymond's Roundup.
tiny arms and his little tiny baby Jaden, sweet baby
It's like
Jaden
a
legs.
baby's arm holding a K2. I think is how it was described as.
Yes, it's true. It's true. They still talk about that.
Why would they stop? Also, to go back to Arizona State and do what he did after his ex-teammates left a note in there that said, "You sucked anyways." Clean out his own locker for him. He hadn't been back since. This guy walked into it, and that's why Dan Quinn said, you handle that like a G. You walked in there, took care of business, rolled out. No anger, no nothing. Just, he is so fucking cool.
TR said he had Keyshawn Johnson and Kurt Warner on his fantasy team that night. He remembers that game.
He did come for the glazing, he said. So
That was he
let's
came for
lay
the
it on
glazing,
thick.
and
Lay it on thick.
And I believe that was
Make it a double coat.
was the year before or the year or two before Keyshawn got Keyshawned by John Gruden, something like that, right?
I believe so. But
Yep.
another guy, John Gruden, getting on and going bonkers over Jaden Daniels.
Yeah.
He's like, I can't believe there's a guy this
all
age
sweaty.
doing this, all sweaty. He's like, I am sweating. He looks crazy. He lost too much weight, and he's all creepy. But he said, I've been watching Jaden Daniels tape. And I was like, oh, I don't know whether to look away or keep looking, but I watched.
You know what the cool thing about the Jaden Daniels thing? So like the people like that. So I mean, I think John Gruden is like he's kind of like a prodigy genius or whatever. I know that he's persona non grata, but he's one of those guys that understands understands the game and the nuances. So and a lot of people that we watch, you said you love. I love Dan Orlovsky. I love all the
Baldy does a great job.
Dion
Both of them are
Baldinger.
good. Yeah.
A lot of, and they all are like okay, and they all have their plays, and we've all seen them a million times. So like they're saying that this is what. At the end of the day, when we all watch football, and we've been watching it for a long time, if you watch a play enough times, there's always like, well, that guy was open, and then you're like, oh man, that guy was open. We were trying to go to him. But with Jaden Daniels, that guy's open, and he gets the ball. It's like he
So I
doesn't,
made
he
that
doesn't
point
miss
last week.
it.
I said there were plenty of opportunities last week where he didn't pull the trigger because guys were open in the NFL, what is defined as open,
Yep.
and he wasn't pulling the trigger. I didn't see any of that.
No, he pulled the trigger.
I didn't see any of that.
When he got off
Again,
the front side and Baldy
that
described
is
it.
correcting something that was obvious
to
at least
Luke
to
McCaffrey,
me,
the Luke McCaffrey
The
cross.
Luke
from
McCaffrey-
one week to the next.
And the way he threw that ball, when he got his
That's-
head around and how he threw it a little off balance, and that flick of the wrist showed me everything I needed to see.
And it was a dart.
Because everyone talked about him not having the howitzer. He has got the quickest release, and he's got plenty of smoke on that ball.
He does.
That throw to Luke McCaffrey stuck on the face mask was absolute sickness. Getting off the front side, getting to number 3, and having enough wherewithal to see the corner got over top on the natural mesh that did not happen. And once you see it doesn't happen, a lot of rookies
Our
take a second.
meshes this past week.
It's freaky.
The mechanics of that throw, it was perfect. It was sublime. It was like a Ken Griffey swing of the bat, or watching Tiger hit like a 3-wood. I mean, it was just the physics of everything was perfect. And then as it left his fingers, it was like boom. I mean, it was perfect.
Remember Taylor Heineke? And we all loved him, but it's just a little bit.
It's just
a
different.
lot bit different.
It's a lot
He
bit
did that off a
different.
back foot. Like
Yeah.
it's so crazy to see the difference. And we love Taylor and everything he had, but he's a 2-3 on a good team. That's fine. We needed him to just show some balls around here because we hadn't shown any in forever.
And he
He did,
showed
and we
them.
loved him for it. But Jaden Daniels doing that is different level right now. It's elite for a guy his age, and it's only getting better. Let's keep this O-line healthy.
I mean, even when
put
Whitlock,
these up
was
on
it
the
Whitlock I
screen.
sent you guys? That the one where he was like, he's a real deal. Like, this is it. He's going to be
I mean,
great.
I love it, and we all listen. Jaden Daniels is so much different and better and greater and whatever than RG3. All I'm saying is he won 7 straight. We went to the playoffs. It was a great year. Everyone fawned.
Yeah, it was fun.
I love it, and I know it's different, but
This has a way different feel.
it has a way different feel. It has a way
Yeah, it
different feel, and in addition to that, it even still has like the best is yet to come kind of feel because they're not there yet, and they're so close. These are the team stats we always like to throw up there. I mean, this is a butt whooping up and down this sheet. I mean, there's
Hand to cheek.
it's unreal. I mean, it's unreal. Obviously 29 over 17 to the first down. So look at the third down efficiency, 9 for 12. That's insane. And
Stop
stopping
it.
them 4 for 11.
1 for 1 on fourth again. We're like 5 for 6 on fourth down this year. Our third down conversions in the last couple weeks is bonkers. It's bizarre what we're doing.
Another major advantage in time of possession at 33-22 over to their 26 minutes. Kevin mentioned the 216 rushing yards. We gave up 181. That's a lot. The passing yards, it's like a sneaky number. Everyone is so used to thinking that 300 means you had a good day. But guess what? Those 233 passing yards were every bit as good as your old school Peyton Manning 360-yard day.
Quick timeout.
He hasn't had a 300-yard day yet, right?
Not yet.
No.
Quick
No.
timeout. The 11 quarterbacks we're playing against averaged 1.3 touchdowns per game. That means rushing and passing combined.
Yeah.
combined. The 11 quarterbacks we're playing against in 4 weeks have averaged 1.3 combined rushing and passing touchdowns.
As an 11-some?
Defense.
As an 11-some?
Defense.
Right? You're talking about as an 11-some.
As an 11-some.
As an 11-some.
Oh, I combined them all into all my mathematical problems. I showed my work. I checked it, and I'm telling you, it's arousing.
He Raymond out.
Stuff like this is super arousing.
It is. It is. Let's see what else. The penalties.
Definitely,
we got to clean
arousing.
that up.
Definitely arousing.
One more penalty with 5 penalties. I mean, I don't know. We saw a lot of penalties this weekend as a crew.
We don't need to get.
We're not going to go there. Turnovers. We had our first turnover. We talked about that. The defense came up with one. Luvu got it. I was hoping for the scoop and the score, but I will take the scoop.
If he does a touchdown celebration, I might just take my pants off and sprint through the neighborhood.
Yes. And really, listen, 26 for 30. I mean, you just think like at some point in time he's not going to keep doing it, and he just keeps doing it. And he's doing it on third down. He did it on third down 9 times, or he was on the took 12 snaps. He did it on fourth down as well. There's such a confidence in that arm right now, and I'd say, like, where does it come from? Like, the one thing about, like, the fact that he's so accurate, it's like these numbers. He is throwing it 30 times and he's maintaining his accuracy levels. It's like Tony Gwynn. How does he get 2 or 3 hits every single game? And he just does. Like that's what these guys can do. And like, where does this confidence come from? Well, it comes from nowhere, because he's just doing it for the first time. And if he starts getting confidence in the fact that he's doing it at this level, watch out.
Oh, he believes in himself immensely. He's a wise 23-year-old, and he's a very religious young man. He has plenty of confidence.
He's
because
prepared himself.
Yes, preparation is the absolute first word.
Super
I would
confident.
say about
I'm saying,
that
like,
guy.
he hasn't.
I
He's
agree.
building.
Oh,
He's
exactly.
building an NFL confidence.
Right now, he's like,
vision.
damn, this shit ain't as hard as I thought it was.
Like, what's
He's
going on?
himself here. He
Yeah.
is totally.
No.
He is totally like. Yeah, this is not new to him.
Oh, and Wayne Sevier,
And here's another thing.
verse 6, quote 16
just
through
point out-
13. Bring
Thank
on
you,
sweet
TR.
baby
Let's talk about
JD.
Thank you, TR.
experience. 5 years in college, right? He spent 5 years in college, correct?
55 games.
There's
Stay
a
in school.
lot of
Stay in
games.
school, kids.
It's a lot of games. I think it was hugely helpful for him
No
to
doubt.
be in the position that he's in right now, as opposed to
Absolutely.
maybe some other rookies.
Did he?
Agreed.
A random thought. Did he pass the Bill Parcells? He had to have. If he was there for 5 years, it's like you got to graduate. You got to start for 4 years, something like that. But Bill Parcells had like a few.
He had a formula.
He had a
or-
formula.
yeah.
It has kind of fallen a little bit by the wayside, because guys come out after their junior. They come out after only
It was a
playing 1 or 2
different
years.
time.
Bo Nix, I think, might have been
But
the only
if you
guy.
still, it was a different
who passed
time.
it.
Things are different, but it still applies.
Sure.
I think if you meet all those things that Bill Parcells thought made a quarterback successful, it's just going to be more likely he's successful.
I mean, the
That's all.
4-year starters, they're hard to find now,
Hard.
but they're there. You can get them. All right, so we did team stats. We don't have to go through all of the. I do love snap counts. We don't have to go through all of them. I found a site that kind of broke them out a little bit differently. I thought, like, for example, safety. We don't always have them.
Not a chance. I got great eyesight, but that's it looks like all
Jeremy
zeros.
Chin. At the end of the day,
Looks like
Chin
zeros
and
across the board.
Like I said, Kevin has a bone, or I would have no idea, like 100 times.
the point of that is
I
Quan
did.
Martin
I've
and
had one
Jeremy
since-
Chin are holding it. It's true.
Had one since the 8th, I believe.
We had to adjust the camera because
September
this table's tilted.
No, I put 2 of the
Napkins. two of those.
two of these bad boys.
2.5.
Works every time.
2.5.
Well, it was a thick ass.
It was a thick ass
was a
too,
thick ass
and we
too.
all know that's a fact.
Yes.
It was a little waterlogged.
Yes.
So Quan Martin. Can we just say a couple kind words about him? One of the holdovers from the Ron
Sure.
Rivera era. That's only like 5 months since it ended, and there's like nobody left except for guys like him. He's actually playing at a pretty high level. He's getting it. He's
He
benefiting.
flies around and knocks the shit out of people.
Benefiting greatly from having Luvu in front of him and Chin next to him.
Listen, I know we got to improve, especially if we step up at the cornerback position moving forward, and keep on bringing some edge guys in, maybe a special guy. I'm not talking about picking one up, drafting. I don't hear about
Keep an eye on
Devontae out in the Raiders. We don't
deadline, too.
trade for 32-year-old receivers. We don't do that with this team. We're not doing that with this team. I don't want to hear about it. I don't want to talk about it.
I think we need to keep an eye on trade that.
We're not doing that. What I'm saying, we're not giving up. We are not giving up draft value for a 32-year-old receiver. That's what Bruce Allen
Not
does.
receiver. I'm saying corner.
Wait, who's a 32-year-old receiver?
Everyone's talking about Devontae.
Is he 32?
He turns 32.
I mean, we're not trading for him anyways.
Year.
Yeah, we're
we're not giving up draft capital.
No, Adam Peters
Peter's not giving up
picks.
draft capital.
He'll
We
trade
can go
you
get
anything
the next
to get draft
Devontae.
picks.
He feels like he can go find the next so and so, and that's what we do. And I like it. So
He knows he can, and we're gonna have supreme confidence in the fact that he can pick the next guy to come in and
Of
help
course.
this wide receiving.
I was just trying to nip that in the bud. I can see us getting some help at other places, and nothing major, but like some bolstering going on. Yes, absolutely.
There you
Why
go.
not prepare yourself for the best at that point without ruining draft capital? And we have plenty of salary cap move space. We have 1 million guys on 1-year deals, and we'll be all right.
It's not that we could pay Devontae Adams for days, but
no,
it's not. We're not trading. We're not trading valuable rebuilding capital.
It would make no sense, and it would make all of us be like, "What the fudge are we doing now? Why, everything's going so well."
Here are the Bill Parcells rules for drafting a quarterback that he put in stone and followed. Be a 3-year starter, be a senior in college, graduate from
Can't lie
college,
with that.
start 30 games, win 23 of them, post a 2-to-1 touchdown to interception ratio.
Like I said, it just ups the probability that they're going to be successful at the next level.
And
That's
it
all.
says this: Jaden Daniels showed up a seasoned leader of men.
Yeah.
Grown ass man, not yet, but he felt like one last year as a 22-year-old starter in college in his 5th season, and he brought that with him. You have to learn that. That's a learned ability at LSU with a bunch of pros. That was not some tiny Tarleton State shit. That was as best as it gets. That's where he learned how to show up first, how to put in the work, and how to be prepared. And that's what I freaking love about the fact that it worked out for us. That and the 5 things that had to happen at the end of the year that we always talk about, we shouldn't talk about. But there's some crazy shit that went down for us to get him. So God bless that it worked out at number 2. The greatest number 2 of all time.
It's
Jaden Daniels.
going to be up there because a lot. I mean, listen, we've drafted the second quarterback in the draft before. We've drafted. We've drafted the top quarterback in the draft before it hasn't worked out. So if you get a guy, and we got a guy, you feel pretty good, and we feel pretty good. Here's a couple more stats for you.
None of this is insinuating that Caleb's a bust or that
No.
he's not going to be
No
good.
chance. He's going to be great someday.
Our dude?
He's going to be phenomenal. We
Our
have
dude?
the dude.
Is a dude.
Yeah.
They
no doubt.
said since the
We-
first
we have
day,
the best possible player we could have gotten.
Yes.
since the day college football stopped, and everyone agreed on 2 things. Caleb was going to go number 1 because he had that otherworldly X factor, it factor, awesome, whatever. He could be one of the
Still
all-time
has
greats
it.
thing. And that Jaden Williams was the most pro-ready quarterback available. Those 2 guys. I mean, you were going to get one of them in one or 2. And both of those things are true in this very second. And they played out. Jaden Daniels came ready to play pro ball.
Someday, the Carolina guy's going to be decent, perhaps Drake May. Someday, maybe. And I think that Caleb is going to be a freaking superstar. Just it's going to take a little time. Our guy's doing some shit right now that we can't even wrap our freaking brains around. And it's magical. It is incredible. And it is the perfect thing. He is the perfect personality for all of this. He checks every box necessary in the culture game.
Right now,
And we all know what the culture game means. If you win the culture game, you're ahead of the NFL game.
We just had
Very
an
few
8-day
teams have the
culture game trip.
Yes, we did.
All I got to say is post Muff Daddy and Deshaun Watson world, we should just say right now he checks every box. Right this moment.
Okay.
He checks every box.
All right. I see what you're saying there.
This is why you don't name things after, like living people.
I think we
and
should
stuff.
change the term from checking boxes to something else.
I also believe in
Just
changing
a
that.
thought. Just a thought. If
Maybe
we're going to talk about Muff Daddy, we should no longer check
filling
boxes
a stat sheet.
as
I'm
a
We should
team.
call it,
As a team. We'll noodle this.
Well,
Let's put a pin in it until
it's a green room
green room.
conversation.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
green
that's fair.
conversation.
Fair.
I,
We'll figure it out.
lining ducks up in a row. How's that? That's not.
You talk about Drake May. You talk about J.D. McCarthy. We talked about Bo Nix.
Yeah.
I think that and the interesting thing is the 2018 quarterback class is starting to really show some age and some goodness, like Sam Darnold being like the newest leader. And I was thinking, okay, from this draft class, I know I had a random thought. Who would be the guy who at some point in the next 5 or 6 years is going to be like the hot story in the NFL for a 2 or 3 week period? It won't be for the team that he's drafted on, but I believe that Joe Milton, before he's done playing, he'll just randomly show up like Fitzmagic style for like 2 or 3 games and be like this 6'3" guy, and everyone's like, why wasn't he playing the whole time? And then like, well,
You always pick these inconspicuous
I know.
names.
It just comes out of
I
nowhere.
saw the
I know.
future.
No,
Sorry.
he's
I'm
like been at like the racetrack for 30 years, and he's gonna nail one of these sons of bitches, and all of a sudden the long shot's gonna come
the
in,
long shot's
and this
coming
guy's
in.
gonna put it on the opening to our show on Tuesday.
But that's
in
the world.
7 years.
That's how the world works.
After Milton gets his first
Like
dub.
the day I hit 3 trifecta boxes in front of your brother, and he was like, "How you
Who'd have
do
thought
this?"
Taylor Heineke would be diving in a pylon,
Never
in a
happened
playoff game against Tom Brady, or Dobbs, coming in and being, having, or Baker Mayfield showing up on Tuesday and playing on Thursday night. I mean, obviously, it's a crazy thing to say, but that's the nature of the league. And somebody from this draft class is going to go unnoticed, but he's going to stick around for just long enough to do something cool. That's all
If
I'm
Ken's
saying.
making predictions, I'm making one. We host a playoff game versus the San Francisco 49ers.
This year.
This year. We
Whoa.
host a playoff game versus Adam Peters.
So you think-
yes.
What?
They're going to be a
That
wild
is-
card team.
Hey, listen, if Ken's allowed to throw Joe Milton out there,
Yeah. So let's talk about that.
I'll
Is that
shake
in the
my head
divisional
for
round
that.
or the wild card round?
well, I think Seattle's schedule suggests San Fran has a brutal schedule. Seattle does
I think
not.
Seattle's got the,
And they're good.
I think Seattle's got
So I
that
think
division.
they take that division. I think we take our division, and the 4 divisions, we get a bye and then 3 home games. So San Fran's making it, and I just think that that's how the world works.
the thing that
That
sucks
may be
for us.
head shaved, like worthy.
He's going to be bald. It's
It's
going
gonna
to
be
be
a man's
crazy.
game. If you're gonna go out like Dan Quinn, shit, well, it's kind of hard. It's kind of hard to do the Cliff Kingsbury. You got to grow like 3 inches and lose 40 pounds and just.
I might have to just do it for Halloween.
Also, if you let Kevin shave you, be careful. He usually doesn't stop above the.
Don't
equator.
stop. Get it.
He brought the whole razor. He paid
You
for the whole
just-
razor.
You just got weird, dude.
I'm just saying. Weird
Yeah,
or
so much for those pandemic haircuts.
I mean, yeah, there was no. We couldn't leave our basement, dude. We had to do it in the basement.
I woke up at a Muff Daddy party
It was a
in
Muff
the middle
Daddy
of
party.
Laytonsville.
All right, how about
I
this?
didn't
We
even
haven't
know
done
he
this.
knew where Laytonsville was.
I know you guys are gonna complain about the size of this, but here's the deal: we haven't done the offensive line snap count in a while. Here's what it tells us. It tells us 4 things. It tells us that Andrew Wiley,
Is this written in a cave?
Nick Allegretti, Tyler Biotish, and
like-
Sam Cosmi have played basically a 100% of the downs on offense for our team, which is kind of crazy cool. 4 guys, one of which started last year. I'm sorry, you can say Wiley and Cosmi both started last year, but 4 guys have played the whole way. The interesting thing is Cornelius Lucas and Brandon Coleman platooning at left tackle.
So many zeros.
Well, that's all the way through week 18. It's going to
T,
start making
tell me
more
more.
sense.
Tell me more
What-
about it, T.
it's-
The snap count for
Bro,
Brandon
it's-
Coleman has
it
gone
looks like a
up
bite.
each
It
week.
looks like
Yeah, Brandon Coleman's getting there.
14, 22, 29, 35.
The highlight clip T sent us was revealing about what type of athlete this cat is. His
Yeah.
feet. So mentally, obviously, they've got Cornelius coming in and playing snaps, but his feet and his strength. Holy shit! No wonder they love.
Dude,
this
they're
son of a
coaching
bitch.
him during games.
Wiley's pulling his weight right now, but what's preventing them from putting Lucas on right and keeping Coleman on left in a more
They're playing a lot of
consistent
guys.
role?
I think
They
they
are.
I think
Maybe
I don't know.
that's
If I don't
great.
know. I don't know if this is like a keep the rookie thingy, or if they're just getting guys involved. I'm not sure what the philosophy is, but it's interesting to see how your left tackle rotates.
Yep.
That's not something we're all used
does
to.
that?
It's not.
Nobody. That's what I'm saying.
It is.
I agree.
It's
I'm
crazy
like,
interesting. The only thing that, but
do what you want to do.
Coleman
At
is
3-1,
trended
but
up.
Fudge.
He's basically every single week he's played more and more snaps at left tackle. The best part about the best stat here on the sheet is that Trent Scott has played. He played 1 down in week 3.
How did you
And he-
translate these into
and he got a
hieroglyphics? You're
thick
amazing,
6.
What's
dude.
the old like
One
computer
play?
program?
Would you like
we
a
had?
One catch,
Do you have any Egyptian in you?
1 touchdown. Oh yeah.
A bunch of ones and zeros, bro.
It's just 1s and 0s, bruh. The other thing about the Brandon Coleman is that everyone jumped up and down, said, this guy's a guard, this guy's a guard. Adam Peters was like, I kind of think he's a tackle. And
He is what Peter says he is.
Adam Peters, at this point, is just not going to be questioned by anybody who's looking
God, I
watching
love
this
that
team.
small bastard.
I mean-
he just smiles his ass off, all handsome and shit, just doing great stuff.
Wait, do I have that? I
But he might
have
also be. He might also be the Lord and Savior. Is there? If we have apostles, he's one of them.
Sweet
for this
baby
new
Jaden.
resurgence.
that. Sweet baby
Yes.
Jaden.
Well, and is it? And then
Well,
the
I
cave where the
do have-
hieroglyphics came from. It's all coming together down here.
Martha goes over. Martha just like randomly came over T's face.
Jesus, Ken. For
What's up with
God's
that?
sake.
Sorry, let me just,
I mean,
let me
dude,
get that out of there for you.
I didn't know she was such a Commanders fan.
I don't know. I had the Dang it,
Bro.
Is it?
No, don't type anything else.
Wait, no,
Oh
that's
no
not
no
it.
no no
Dang
no
it, I
no
can't
no
get
no
there.
no
All right,
no
okay,
no
hey,
no.
Let's come over here.
I got-
Oh my gosh, it's
What the
everywhere.
fuck?
What are
Why
you
is
doing?
Fat Kevin and Brett Strachan here?
I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on. All right,
That is
just
fat hungover Kevin and Brett Strachan.
Brett Strachan. If they had a baby, if those two had a baby,
A shower baby?
a shower baby.
So gross.
Let's talk about.
Why did you look like a loofah?
We didn't
Whoa.
yet do this. I have a little surprise for you guys for the second half / end of the show. We have about 15 minutes to go, and this is what we're gonna do. It's debate night.
Goodbye to all you who have
We've
just decided to say goodnight.
Here's the deal. Here's what we got. No, we got.
The rest of you.
No, they're dying to see
For
what
the
the
rest
shit
of you?
this is.
Hold on.
I got to tell you, I'm thinking this might be something. Let's see. All right, so we got a timer. Okay, it's debate night. Greg Martin has graciously
Nice.
volunteered his services to do a little debate situation. Greg, you're going to put the first topic out. It's going to be Kevin versus T first, which I will
shit.
judge. Then it will be Ken versus T.
There's
which Kevin will judge.
moderators? Do you want whiskey for this?
Yeah, I need some whiskey for this. I'll finish that off.
All
So
right.
whoever's, it's going to be 1-on-1, and whoever's not the 1-on-1
I mean,
is the judge.
Raymond already has the advantage with all the fucking.
Well, that's true.
No,
Nobody knows
What
the
you don't know
topics.
about my notebook is there's nothing written in it. I just bring it.
Nobody knows the topics.
I write it in lemon juice, and I only do it by.
No, it's good. It's like braille. Like you can
It is
feel
braille.
You can feel the.
I can feel it in my plums.
I can feel it in my plums. All right, so let's see. All right, so Greg, we're waiting for Greg. Okay, we're gonna throw this up on the screen. Okay, so round one. Here we go. Where is it? Round one. Tim versus Kevin. Ken is judge. Tim responds first. We will beat the Browns on Sunday. Why or why not? So if you whatever you take, you have to take the other side of that. I'm sorry. That there's gonna be. I
get it. I understand. I understand the game.
Ready?
I'm ready.
Yeah, we're going.
We will beat the Browns on Sunday. One, because karma. I mean, come on, right? And they're just like a complete shitbag right now. That as an organization, as a team, and we are on a heater, bro. From the front office down to like the training staff. I mean, things are just clicking for us. I don't see it happening this week. They don't get ahead of themselves. I think the week away gives them everything they need to be prepared to continue this win streak and me getting a lot closer to shaving my head.
All right, Kevin, we will not beat the Browns. Why?
Oof. Well, we have yet to score an offensive touchdown at home this year. We have 7 field goals, but we haven't crossed the goal line in town. Now we've been away for 8 days and it's been 3 road games, but we haven't done that just yet. And I have seen Deshaun Watson go on a heater himself. He is capable. He hasn't been in recent years, but when he first entered this league, he was capable of that. And if the stain of milky ass, what's his name, DS, still resonates a little bit in the end zones, we got to scrub that. And you guys know what I would really say here, but I'm telling you, offensive touchdown hasn't been scored this year. Deshaun Watson versus our secondary, his escapability will give us some issues, and he's great at throwing the ball in the run. And
Dang it, I forgot to
hey,
do
the
that.
way we contain
when it
Kyler
comes to
is
the
fine.
My bad. We had a timer on the screen and I didn't use it.
sorry.
All right. So as the judge of this round, I will say the most compelling argument was made by a Senor Strachan.
Yeah, that was
right.
tough sledding for me. I was a minus 17.5
Oh
point
yeah.
underdog.
Oh, you were playing Alabama on the road.
I think I covered, but I still got smoked by double digits.
What's it?
I
Great.
did it like a real politician too. I used no substance. I just used.
Oh, I forgot to do it like a real
used
politician.
joy. I
And
used
just
joy.
like,
Bullshit.
All right. Keep it coming, Greg.
Totally bullshit.
did you touch Ken inappropriately?
When you, Greg, when you hear
No, that's
the,
what politicians do. I just accused you of doing that because I'm trying to do it like a politician.
I see.
It's because you fingered Ken.
I
That's
see
why
what
I
you
lost.
just did. I
Yeah,
see what
exactly.
you just did. Now
Yeah.
you just set me up to lose the
I
next,
know.
the next one.
Exactly. That's why I
wait,
hate
how is
politics.
this
so
Tim versus
much.
Kevin? This is round 2. Oh yeah, round 2. Tim versus Kevin.
lie again.
Ken judges. Kevin responds first. We will score over 30 points on Sunday. Why or why not?
100% because of our offense and our quarterback and everything clicking and coming together, getting home for a week, seeing each other's family, getting back together and realizing what we have just done. And the crowd will be bonkers. We're going to go nuts. It's going to be electric in there. I've already checked ticket prices. I haven't checked ticket prices in freaking 20-some years because I want to be a part of the buzz that's going to be what the buzz is at 1 o'clock in Landover on Sunday afternoon with sweet baby Jaden Daniels, the quarterback and savior of our franchise.
All right, T, why are we not going to score 30 points?
Well,
or
I mean,
more?
I just a minute ago said that we won't have a letdown.
Be a
but here's the
politician.
thing. The NFL, it's tough to win. And as shocked as we were that we got 42 points this past week, I just think there's going to be some humbling happening. It's just the NFL. It's the way it happens. We're going to think that we're going to go out there and like kick ass, and I think we still will. But there are reasons why you're not going to go out there and score 42 points a week. It just doesn't happen all the time. Sorry.
T.
It was the last piece.
That's the triangle.
It was
That's
the
the
last
worst of
piece.
the big.
It was the last piece.
I'm going to tell you what, Kevin, you got me fired up.
Yeah, I know.
I'm ready for
You
this.
should've.
All right.
It was an
Round.
indefensible one though.
I was a 17.5-point favorite for that one.
All right. It was a queef. That was the sound of a queef, Keegan. I
Oh,
appreciate you. All
For
right, here we
God's
go.
sake, Keegan.
Ew, kids,
Round
how do
3.
you know
Tim versus
that?
Ken. Kevin
It's
versus
like
Judge.
weird.
Tim responds first. We will make this playoffs this season. Why or why not? Oh, my goodness gracious. T, take it away.
Because we're badass. Are you going to start this or what?
Hold on. Let me start the timer for you so you can win. There you go.
Look, every year there is that team, right, that comes off a horrible year. They got all kinds of disarray, but then they
Houston.
just put together the right staff, the right people, the way to get things back on track. And it's also just happens to be that we were in the abyss for 20 years. Why not have an opportunity to go to the playoffs? Why not rewrite history and be the team that is this year's Cinderella that's going to get everybody energized and it's going to get us finally the 3 generations back together on the same page.
All right.
My clown hand's about
Here
to
we
come
go.
out. Turn it off. Turn it off the screen. Put the hieroglyphics back.
More hieroglyphics. Here we go. Why will we not make the playoffs? I mean, for goodness sake, have you been paying attention for the last 25 years? We like this is false gold. This is a fool's gold. We're 3-1. Nothing good can happen for us. Why in God's name would we be allowed to have 17 great games, a full season of anything good? We've never seen it in 27 years. Why do you think it's going to start this year? Sorry, Kevin. Go ahead.
Most negative thing you've ever
I had to. I mean, that's my job. That's my job on debate night.
All right. Well, T had 3 good points, and then you had 1.5. Then T chewed ice, taking him down 1 point, which gives him a half-point victory. I love Abyss, I love Cinderella, and I love 3 generations. Ken, you kind of bonered it up on false gold, fool's gold. False gold, fool's
It
gold.
should have been fool's gold.
At once, if you just came out with fool's gold or went with false gold, you had a shot. But when you went false fools, bro, you totally blew it.
I have myself to blame.
You blew, I mean,
only have
you,
my
you had a shot
I
there.
did the same thing in my second one. Yeah.
Round 4, Tim versus Ken. Kevin is judge. Ken responds first. Who is
Dude,
the best
when do I
team
get
in the
a break?
NFL right now and why? I'll tell you what. Hold on. We're just going to get that timer out here. Who's the best team in the NFL right now and why? Where are we at? 28 seconds. The Kansas City Chiefs are the best team in the NFL. When's the last time they lost? I can't even remember. They are the defending champions. They have the greatest quarterback playing in the game right now, the greatest tight end that's played in this era. They have one of the greatest offensive head coaches in the history of the league. Have I mentioned that they haven't lost in 13 or 14 straight games, including the playoffs and the Super Bowl, until they are dethroned as the
Hit
best?
the button for yourself, dude.
Yeah,
Are
let
you
me do
serious?
it. Let me do it.
Get
Hold on.
something.
Let me
Hit the
get that.
foghorn.
Sorry.
Hit the
You're right. Thank you. All right.
Attaboy, Kenny.
Dude,
Who's
you
the
are
best team?
such a bandwagon fan. Are you kidding me? Everybody can pick the team that won last year. You know how hard it is to win in this league, especially 3 years in a row? Look at the Baltimore Ravens, man. They are built ready for this year. They've got an organization that's been steady. They've always been right there. They're due for one, but the way that they've been doing it, yeah, their record might not show it right now, but dude, they are the scariest team, in my opinion, right now, and they can only ascend from this point out.
All right. Well, I thought both of you did great. It came down to one statistic. Pat Mahomes is 15-3 in the playoffs with 3 Super Bowls. Lamar Jackson is 1-3 in the playoffs with no Super Bowls. So I got to go with Ken. It's Kansas City. Win streak champs. Remember the last time they lost. QB, tight end, offensive head coach, genius. Super Bowls. I mean, I'm just saying.
I mean, when it's 2 against 1, what am I going to do?
This whole thing is stacked.
I don't know. I mean, I think we should look into these two and maybe have them removed from the show.
The Kansas, that was really impossible.
We beat Medicare. All right.
All he said was a bunch of numbers, and that got you as Raymond.
No, win streak champ. Remember the losses. Quarterback, tight end, offensive kick coach, genius.
You know how hard
bandwagon, how hard it is to win. Ravens have been a great organization, all of which I agree with. It was a close match, but Lamar's 1-3, and P. Diddy. Sorry, I will never say that again. Pat Mahomes is 15-3 with 3 Super Bowls and a shit ton. I know.
Round 5.
All right.
Kevin versus Ken. Tim is the judge. Kevin responds first. Pick a player on the team that's not. Pick a player on the team. Pick a player on the team that's not Jaden Daniels. That is our MVP so far, and why. And you get to get started. That's an advantage for me, I guess.
Terry McLaurin being a superstar, always being a guy that cares about everyone else on the team more than himself. He gives of himself at every angle. No one gives more than he does. His patience has allowed Jaden Daniels to develop without having someone looking over his shoulder. No bullshit. They have connected like brothers in the last 2 weeks, has shown exactly why. Culture from the ownership down to the starting quarterback now with our star player meshing together is the ultimate scenario that we could have hoped for in the offseason.
Let's see. I think what you're going to get there is that's pretty good. That's pretty good.
A little honk honk.
All right, so the MVP on our team so far and why. So early, but I'm going to tell you right now, without Brian Robinson Jr. toting the rock as hard as he possibly can in an offense that is dependent on at least some, if not some moderate success in the run game behind that offensive line. He has taken some incredible blows. He has dealt out even more. He's racking up not just touches, but he's also getting yards. He's getting over the goal line. Your offense has to be led by the toughest guy on your team. In this case, it's the Alabama-born. Hold on, here we go. Sorry, let me get. All right, hey, there you go.
You both did well. I think you both made very great points.
I agree with that.
I have to go with the gut, and Kevin had just a little bit more passion in it. I get it. I think B-Rob's very deserving.
He's a badass animal.
I don't know if I actually think you believed yourself when you were talking about it.
He loves Terry McLaurin so much.
Terry McLaurin might be just the right answer.
All right. Round 6 is
going
on the way.
first certainly helped in that scenario. But Brian Robinson would have been my absolute scenario too.
Tom Meringolo with the inside scoop. KC will be even better. I hear that there is bad weather hovering in the Swifty bedroom. That's straight out of Centerville, Maryland, across the bridge. Tom Meringolo, Kelsey's distraction.
You got to get off the tabloid sites, bro.
Wow.
What's going on?
We're getting some serious inside
Are you
information.
At the Safeway, like
your dad's on the gram, baby. Yes, it's a Safeway.
He knows what's up.
Going through the Us magazine.
That's why our board is the best in the business. Last one before bonus. Round 6. Kevin versus Ken. Tim is judge. Ken responds first. Muff or no muff? And I couldn't be more. Let me just tell you right now. Here we go. Starting, and I'm going to start the timer. It's 2024, everybody. This is the year of Muff. If you are not here for it, you're in the wrong year. We made this our platform. It's made completely out of Muff. It's Muff from top. It's all the way down to the bottom. It's Muffalicious, baby. And this is exactly what we came for. It's what we signed up for. 2024, the year of Muff.
Listen, 1984 was the year of Muff. Guys would pull their helmets off and it would explode. I'm just saying this. When the D's come down and there's an explosion, it's not the year for that anymore, sir. Sleek, clean, aerodynamic, less. Well, it is kind of. There's a lot of maintenance to this, but you know, you do your best out there. You do your best because, to be fair, gentlemen, and I stare at you right now, you gain an inch. It's a game of inches. 1 inch is extremely important.
It's a game of inches.
It's a game of inches, gentlemen.
All right, T, that's a tough one. That is a tough one. And you know what? That was a good round. That was a good round.
You know, you both were very convincing, very passionate in your stance. You made good points on both. I mean, Ken taking the more personal route and something that sort of catered to me because I'm a part of the group. So that was smart. That was a smart tactic. But once again, Raymond comes up with more facts, and I'm gonna have to go with that.
Facts. Gives him. You just gave him the win instead of a three-way tie.
I did.
Except there's a bonus. There's a bonus round. You guys didn't know about the bonus
bro.
round.
It wasn't about.
No
what
one
was
wants to be the
said
regular
before.
season
It was about
champ.
what was
It's a
said
round
about,
7.
It was about what was said about
Football
muff.
is a game of inches.
I mean, it was a muff discussion that actually put him
I
over
lost
the top.
the muff discussion. I thought being pro muff I was gonna have.
You would think,
I was wrong.
but I mean, you know, he gave clear examples.
It's not cold out yet.
You kind of had more of like a word salad.
Okay.
That was passionate and sounded great.
Well, you're gonna go first here, so get ready.
I'm going again.
Bonus round. Board is the judge. Pick a player besides Jaden Daniels, who we apparently were not allowed to pick for anything anymore, on the team, and what they should go dressed as on Halloween based on their season so far and why. So
I
30
gotta go
seconds starts
first?
now. Yeah, you're going first.
Oh,
You're
crap.
our idea man.
I think Luvu should go as the Hawaiian dude in the movie
Moana?
Who's it? Who's that? What's his
The
name?
Rock?
Yeah, The Rock's. What's his character's name?
Dude, I don't know.
What is he called? I'm blanking on it. But
The
he
guy
should
from
definitely-
the
yes,
He can
should
turn into a
definitely do that
hawk and
because,
a shark.
Yes, he brings so many different weapons, and he can pretty much just like transform into whatever he wants to be that we need him to be. And I think it's a perfect costume for what he is doing right now for this franchise.
All right. Well,
What's his name?
Kevin.
I'm sorry, I forgot his name. That might be a point to.
I think that I would wear a Colton Yankoff jersey and a Coneheads hat.
Maui.
Say it again.
Colton Yankoff jersey, Coneheads hat.
Mm-hmm. That's it.
That's all I have to say.
Colton Yankoff.
Colton Yankoff jersey, Coneheads hat.
I like it. Does he have to wear
I
like
mean,
the?
it's terrible
No, you had to
answer.
pick a player and what he
Yeah.
would wear.
We get based on his season so far.
Be Yankoff
By the
is
way,
wearing that
he had an
I thought it was what I would wear.
amazing special teams tackle this week. I know everyone
He's
saw
got
that.
one a week. He gets one a
outside
week.
of Jaden Daniels.
He's a stud.
You think I can see that far?
but he read it.
I said it with binoculars. You think I listened to Ken? This is terrible.
No, no one listens
No,
to
I
me.
was no. I don't mean it in that way. I'm
I
not
mean,
listening to
there's
T either.
Technical points are taken, I think, for that. But I'm not the judge. The board's the judge.
I said, listen, if I was Colton Yankoff, I would wear a Coneheads hat and my jersey.
All right. Well, I guess I'm gonna have to say. Wait, let me put my countdown down. I don't
I
want.
thought you were the judge.
No, it's
No,
all
the
three of
board
us.
is the
It's the
judge.
bonus
Wow.
round. The board is a judge. Once
The
again,
bonus round. I did not do well in the bonus round.
pick a player on the team besides Jane Daniels on what they should go dressed as on Halloween based on their season so
I
far
thought we were getting dressed up.
and why.
My bad.
That's okay. That's all right. But you still put Yankoff in a Conan costume. It counts. Totally counts.
He seems like a nice guy. I don't think I want to do that to him. I was going to do it to myself.
Okay.
It's a bad answer. You're up.
I'm
What
gonna
do you
go
got?
Tress
longer
Way.
you wait- Go ahead.
Tressway should be dressed as just a ghost, just a sheet over him. You know, because we don't know anything. He's not there. He's just kind of haunting us right now. He doesn't. I don't. Who knows where he is? I have no
My
idea.
terrible Yankoff idea is looking better and better. as time
He's
goes
just stressed
by.
away. He's just with a couple holes cut out. She's like, hey,
Thank you, brother.
You got it, man. He's a ghost. He doesn't even live
I think
here
we know
anymore.
who won
He's
the
gone.
bonus round.
He's gone.
He gone.
He's gone.
Damn, everything was going well.
Yesterday was yesterday, and today is today.
Today is also today. All right. We'll take the first 3 votes. The first 3 votes.
Yesterday.
First 3 people on the board to vote for one of us.
For a better today.
Those 3 votes will carry the day in terms. And by the way,
I blew it. I false gold, fool's golded it in the final bonus
Yes.
round.
And today we think of tomorrow when we think of yesterday. Thank you.
Wait, Kevin with the Tressway is Charlie Brown in a ghost sheet. RC. Oh, Greg Martin says Ken by default. All right, so
Wait,
that's
did you hear Ken's last
Why was
answer, Greg
Ken-
Martin?
What is wrong? You're like in it with him on this. It's totally rigged. I told you it was rigged.
Tress, by the way, is
I gave a
everyone's
horrible
love-
It's
answer,
not a fair
admittedly.
contest.
No, J Dubs gives J Dubs went to Kev. So
I don't
Kevin's
know,
got one vote.
I
have
blew,
one
I blew
vote.
it at the
You know what?
end. I was rolling and I blew it at the end.
No, I'm not coming on this network again. This is ridiculous. I'm gonna have you guys
Yes.
investigate.
You have to find a whole new network to come on.
Robert
Mine
Cohen with the
only made
tie-breaking
sense.
vote.
Mine's the only one that made sense.
All right, so I got the
I
vote
voted
there.
for you on that.
I actually followed the true like.
Well, I'm the regular season
How
champ.
could
I'm taking that home
Tressway
tonight.
be even a candidate? He hasn't been on the field.
Final score prediction for the
Luke, who
Cleveland
plays
Browns.
almost
He's a ghost.
the whole freaking time.
He's a
No,
ghost.
I'm done. I'm done. With
Cleveland
the board.
Browns.
I'm mad at the board.
Cleveland
I'm done.
Browns.
I'm done. I'm
Final
pulling-
score
I'm pulling a
prediction.
Brett. I'm pulling
Fi-
a Brett, and I'm
There
taking my
you
ball
go.
and I'm going home.
Final score prediction.
No.
Who
I'm not
wins?
playing. I'm not playing.
He's
anymore.
taking his
wins?
bag of candy.
So,
Kevin, who
we
wins?
win. We win by a lot.
By a lot. Dude, the guy drinks a half a glass of whiskey and all of a sudden he won't play our game.
no,
He doesn't want to play our
no.
game anymore.
Clearly, I'm the
He's
most,
being inspired by the photograph of Brett Strachan
clearly I'm the
you
most
clearly put up earlier.
disliked one up here.
Can you put the Brett Strachan picture up real quick?
Yes.
Sorry.
Yes.
It is going to be 33-13. 33 to 13. 30. Brett Strachan and Fat Kevin hungover with a terrible haircut agrees.
There you go. Oh, that's an old school stat with Terry McLaurin getting his 900. Okay, so 33-13.
It's
I think
basically all neck.
you said 33-13.
I went 33-13.
Yeah, I got to score in at least 36, 37 points. So I'm going to say I'll call it 38-18. Right. I think we're gonna win this game going away.
We just went 20-20.
Yeah, but last week I went over 40 points. I don't think we're going to score over 40 points this week. I think scoring over 40 points is freaking
You
hard.
can't just predict that every week.
Yeah.
Since when were we allowed to do this?
Yeah.
Let's act like we've been there before,
Yeah.
even though it was 25 years ago.
We're not scoring
Yeah,
over 40 points all the time. So I do think we're getting in the 30s because I do think we
Well,
score
so now
points.
We're definitely going to put up like 50.
Fitty Burger. We're coming back in 7 days, y'all. We'll be talking about this Cleveland Browns game. We'll be getting ready for the Battle of
fun to show
I-95
you guys tonight.
against the Baltimore Ravens in 2 weeks. We're not looking past the Browns by any stretch, but we have a really cool 2 weeks of the AFC. What is that? The AFC North? It's not the AFC North.
It's the North.
The next 2 weeks are AFC North time. I think that makes it cool. We'll try to let's bring some next week. Let's bring that mentality in. That's an old school football division. We're an old school football division. This is the way football is meant to be played. NFC East versus AFC North. There's everything great about all of it. I'm very much looking forward to the next 2 games. Opportunity knocks for Cliff Kingsbury, for Joe Witt, for Ken Norton, for Dan Quinn, for these coaches to figure out how to keep this team on this track. It's got to be the hardest job in the world, one of the hardest jobs in the world. Every team has good players. You don't get to the NFL if you don't. You can get tripped up by a Cleveland Browns team any week of the season.
Of course.
So
of course.
Great opportunity.
Of course.
Great opportunity for our guys.
No one's going to be shocked if we do. It's just going to hurt, but it's been so fun, and I think that this stadium is going to be a different place than we remember it in recent years.
Yes.
Might be a little eerily reminiscent of what happened on Minnesota Avenue for a lot of years. A lot of those cats are coming back out of the woodworks this week.
I know.
For great reason.
I'm like almost one of those cats. I mean, obviously, I went for 20 years during the worst 20 years.
I know. You held the torch.
And I'm ready to go back. I have my tickets to the Chicago Bears game. We're doing it up. But we do high school football on Saturdays. I don't need to be gone 2 straight days at this point. I got plenty of time for that. It's going to be a fun day of football, a real fun day of football. Our guys versus theirs. Let's see who's got it. On behalf of Kevin Ricca.
Hey, and let's just wait and see how these what do you say when you go back into the church, you got away from the church, then you come back in because of sweet baby Jesus.
Sweet baby Jaden. Sweet baby Jaden with his little.
Oh, I can't wait to see. No, but he brings
fist of fury.
The born again Redskin fans that are now commandeering the scenario in Landover, how they embrace this team.
Yeah, and let's
How
get
they
away
embrace this
from.
team.
Let's get away. I've been hearing a lot of like dumb arguments amongst like people who say they're like, oh, you weren't, you didn't, you weren't here for this, and you don't know about that, and all this other stuff. Like there's
cares?
there's
Who
no,
cares?
there's that we have no time for that. No time for that.
Dan Quinn, verse 3, chapter
Yes,
16
yes.
says, "Stop fucking around."
Yes.
Jaden Daniels is in town.
Yes,
I read it in scripture.
this
It has been written.
there has been a little bit of a sleepiness to the fan base, but the fan base has been here the whole time.
We were put to sleep. It was
Yes.
like David Koresh. It was.
Yes.
We drank the great Kool-Aid. We tried our best.
We were yes.
We wore the black Nikes.
People did it.
We did all that shit.
And we carried the torch. You know what the coolest conversation I've had over the last like 4 or 5 days are people who like recognize that we've been doing this now for 8 years, and so many shows over so many terrible seasons have been obviously the funnest nights of our lives, but at the same time, the content hasn't necessarily been there for us to cover.
It's taught me how to polish the sloppiest of turds,
Oh gosh,
put them back together, and reconstruct.
and we'll be the last people to sit here in week 4 and into week 5 and tell you things that aren't true, because we do know so well what it takes to get there. We do know so well what it takes to get to the end of a season, because we just haven't done it very often. He's Tim Strachan.
Well, I'll just say
Mm-hmm.
that what just happened at the end of the show was very unfair, and I mean, it was unfair because it was obviously 2 against 1, or it was 2+ against 1. My debate was maybe the best ever performed ever. It was perfect.
Mm-hmm. Perfect.
And
Very Trumpish.
Some
and
people
I
are
just-
saying.
that's very
Some people
Trumpish.
are saying.
He
I
is
just need to
best
say,
ever.
but
channeling his.
I will
his
be
inner
back
Trump.
next week because my passion for this organization is so much more and more beautiful, really, than whatever lies you guys just put out there and whatever just happened.
They're
here.
eating the dogs.
So,
and
they're
eating
they're
the
eating
dogs.
the gerbils. They're eating ferrets.
I
They're eating
can't
the
wait
cats.
to come back and actually just enjoy another Victory Tuesday. Without
T
any
uses
of
the best words.
misinformation.
He knows
that-
the best
that-
people.
that came through and whatever happened. The investigation will figure it out.
Yeah. Well, listen, as everyone
Until
knows
then, I
full
can't wait to
well,
see it.
They're
All
eating
I
the
can say
composite
is-
leather footballs.
I've said it once. I've said it a million times. I cannot and will not comment on an ongoing investigation. So we'll save it for next week.
I was perfect. I don't know.
Thank God it's Tuesday. I'm Ken Meringolo. We'll see you in 7 days. We are still live. What do we got here? Let's
You know,
go.
they are.
Shock the world,
They
play
are
Ben
eating
around the world.
animals.
We didn't.
They are.
I
It's
know.
happening.
I know.
I don't know.
They're delicious.
Just go to the Instagram. You can find it.
Insta.
I've seen it.
Yeah.
How do I get there?
Thank you, Ken, for the applause for my perfect debate.
Appreciate all you guys hanging out with us on a Tuesday night. We'll see you guys next week.
I never debate on Tuesdays. It's usually a Monday, Wednesday rotation.
I'm a master debater, and I earned it the hard way.
Gross.